Most brands don't get worse by accident. They get worse on purpose. Somewhere in the last 20 years, the deal changed. You buy the thing, it works long enough to feel justified. Then one small failure turns into a big repair, and you're pushed to replace the whole machine. That's the modern system. It looks premium, it dies young, and you pay again. Men over 60 don't trust promises. They trust patterns. They trust what they've seen survive. They trust what can be fixed, what can be maintained, and what doesn't beg for attention. So, this is the Buy It for Life list. 5 brands that keep showing up when people who hate gimmicks talk about what they actually keep in their own homes and garages. And for each one, there's a reason it lasts, and a mistake that makes people buy the wrong version and get burned. Toyota? The Toyota is trusted for one reason. It doesn't demand your time. It's built to be ignored. That sounds like a joke, until you realize that's exactly what you want from a car. Reliable doesn't mean exciting. Reliable means predictable. It means the design isn't changing every year just to look new. It means parts and systems stay consistent long enough to be proven in the real world. Toyota's strongest feature is boring. The engines, the transmissions, the entire philosophy is built around not surprising you. And that is the point. Men over 60 have seen what happens when companies chase flashy upgrades. More sensors, more screens, more modules, more expensive failures. The biggest mistake with Toyota is buying the newest, most complicated trim and thinking more features means more value. That's how you add more failure points. The smart Toyota buyer isn't trying to impress anyone with ambient lighting. They're trying to never get stranded. They pick what's proven, they keep it simple, and they drive it for years. That's why the trust lasts. Honda. Honda earns trust because it builds things that start when you need them. For a lot of people, Honda isn't even a car brand first. It's the engine brand. Generators, mowers, pumps, equipment. The stuff you only notice when it fails, and failure is never convenient. The reason Honda keeps showing up in Buy It for Life conversations is simple. It runs. It starts. It doesn't need a speech. It does the job quietly for a long time. And that matters most in the moments where you can't afford a failure, like storms, emergencies, or workdays where downtime costs you money. The mistake with Honda is thinking anything that looks similar is the same. The market is full of machines that copy the shape, copy the numbers, and copy the marketing words. But they're built to a different standard. Cheaper parts, looser tolerances, more shortcuts. Honda tends to cost more up front, and that annoys people in the store. Then years later, the same people realize the point was never the logo. The point was not having problems. Speed Queen. Speed Queen is trusted because it still acts like a machine instead of a gadget. In laundry, most brands sell you a spaceship. Touchscreens, Wi-Fi, 100 cycles you'll never use. It feels modern until the first real failure hits and you learn the ugly truth. With a lot of modern washers, repair doesn't mean replacing a small part. Repair means replacing a big assembly. A cheap failure becomes an expensive module. Speed Queen built its reputation by going in the opposite direction. Simpler controls, heavy-duty DNA, less obsession with flashy features, more focus on surviving repeated use. That's why you'll hear repair-minded people and old school buyers bring it up again and again. The mistake with Speed Queen is buying it for the wrong reason. If you buy it because you want luxury and endless features, you might be disappointed. If you buy it because you want something straightforward that's built to survive, that's where it makes sense. And the reason men over 60 trust it is not because it's perfect. It's because it still respects the idea that a laundry machine should be serviceable and built for work. KitchenAid. KitchenAid is trusted because one product earned a reputation that stuck for decades. The stand mixer. People have seen them run for years and years, get passed down, and keep doing the job with the same heavy, mechanical feel that older machines had. That's what trust looks like. Not hype, not trends. Just a tool that behaves like a tool. But here's where people get burned. Not every KitchenAid is the same. Many buyers shop with their eyes, color, style, matching the kitchen. And then they're shocked when what they bought feels more like a decorative appliance than a serious machine. The simple filter is this. The versions that feel solid, heavy, and built like a piece of equipment tend to be the ones that create lifelong loyalty. The mistake is buying the light, pretty version and expecting it to feel like the old tanks. Men over 60 trust KitchenAid because they remember what a real machine feels like, and they buy accordingly. Lodge. Lodge is cast iron, and cast iron is the ultimate anti-scam product. No screens, no software, no modules, no subscription, no planned obsolescence. It doesn't need updates, and it doesn't care what year it is. Cast iron lasts because it's simple and it gets better with use. Most modern cookware is built around coatings that wear out. You baby it, you worry about scratches, and eventually you replace it. Cast iron is the opposite. You use it, you season it, and it becomes more yours over time. It's durable, it's forgiving, and it can be restored. The mistake with Lodge is treating it like a disposable pan. People panic at a little rust or they expect it to look perfect forever. But the people who trust cast iron understand the trade. It's not fragile. It's not fussy. It can outlive you if you treat it like what it is, a simple piece of iron meant to be used. Now connect the pattern. Toyota, Honda, Speed Queen, KitchenAid, Lodge. Different categories, same DNA. They're boring on purpose. They're built around proven designs. They avoid unnecessary complexity. And when complexity shows up, the smart buyers avoid the versions that exist mainly to look new. That's why men over 60 trust these brands. They've watched quality rise, get celebrated, then get optimized into cheaper parts and harder repairs. They've learned that the real scam isn't the price tag. It's the trap where a small failure forces a big replacement. So here's the filter that saves money. Stop shopping for features. Start shopping for serviceability. Ask one question before you buy anything expensive. If it fails, can it be fixed with parts? Or will you be pushed into replacing a whole board, a whole module, a whole unit? That one question is why Toyotas keep running, why Honda engines keep starting, why Speed Queen still has believers, why KitchenAid mixers stay on counters for decades, and why Lodge is basically immortal. And if you want the simplest warning sign of all, it's this. If the product needs an app to work, it probably won't last like the old stuff did. Apps die. Support ends. Parts disappear. And your smart purchase turns into a dumb brick. Men over 60 don't trust what's loud. They trust what survives.